I want to quickly talk to you about how to lease a cargo van for a business. So, when you are thinking about a cargo van business, you have the opportunity to either lease the vehicle or you can buy it. But in today's conversation, I want to share with you the hacks you need to really think about to lease a cargo van for a business. So, here are the steps. The first thing you want to do is you want to determine your business needs. Are you going to do OTR? Are you going to haul loads for urban clients? What kind of positioning you want to have for your cargo van business? Are you going to do a first mile, middle mile, or last mile? This is really important. Okay. So, but there are a few things you need to pay attention to. The first thing is you need to determine your business needs. And when we talk about business needs, we are talking about a couple of things: cargo space. You got to think about payload capacity. You got to think about frequency of use. You got to think about size and volume of goods that you are going to haul. So when we talk about cargo space, for instance, you want to evaluate the amount of cargo space you need to transport your goods or clients' goods efficiently. So you want to determine the dimensions and capacity required to accommodate your product. And in terms of payload capacity, you want to calculate the weight of your goods to ensure the cargo van can handle the load without compromising performance or safety. So performance and or safety are really critical, okay? And you got to keep in mind that the payload capacity includes the weight of the cargo, you have passengers, and any additional equipment or tools. You got to also think about the frequency of use. So the frequency of use will depend upon how you position yourself across the logistical value chain, whether you want to do a first mile, middle mile, or a last mile. And so when we talk about frequency of use, you want to consider how frequently you'll be using the cargo van. So this will help determine whether a long-term lease or a short-term rental is more suitable for your business needs. And the last thing is that when we talk about the size and volume of goods, that's kind of important too, because you want to analyze the size and volume of the goods you'll be transporting regularly. And this information will assist in selecting a cargo van with the adequate space and dimensions to accommodate your products effectively. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. Make yourself comfortable. You are going to enjoy today's conversation. The next thing you want to do is, if you're trying to lease a cargo van for business, you need to research van leasing companies. And when we talk about researching van leasing companies, we're talking about two things. You got to think about locally. You got to think about the whole thing locally, but also nationally. So you want to look at the local cargo van rentals. So you have like local dealerships, or you could just reach out to national chains. But when you deal with national chains, you got to think about the extra element of credit. They might check your credit before leasing you the van. So that's important to really understand. And national chains also have a pre-established, I would say, a set of requirements that they will ask you. So it really depends upon how you position your cargo van business. And when we talk about researching van leasing companies, you have a few things to really keep in mind. You got to think about lease terms. You got to think about pricing. You got to think about lease and options. So when we talk about lease terms, you want to evaluate the lease terms offered by different companies. You want to look for flexibility in lease duration, such as short-term or long-term options to align with your business needs. And you also want to look at pricing. So you want to compare and contrast the pricing structures of various leasing companies. You want to consider factors such as monthly lease payments, upfront costs, and any additional fees or charges associated with the lease. So that's kind of important. And you also got to think about lease and options. So you want to explore the lease and options provided by each company. And some companies that we have seen in our research, they actually may offer the option to purchase the van at the end of the lease, while others may provide the flexibility to return the van without any obligation. So you have flexibility there, and you have to see what really works for you. And how do you see what works for you? Well, it depends on your financial situation too, and also whether business is booming or not. I mean, you have all kinds of situations there, and you also got to ask yourself, what are the conditions at the time of the end of the lease? Okay, so that's important too. Think about, when we talk about the conditions, we are speaking about the overall state of the economy, for instance, among other things. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about how to lease a cargo van for a business. So step number one, you want to determine your business needs. Number two, you want to research van leasing company. Step number three, you want to compare lease options. So basically, when we talk about lease options, we are speaking about all kinds of situations. For instance, you got to look at the types of leases. You got to think about terms and conditions. You got to think about tax benefits. I mean, tax benefits are really important when it comes to long-term leasing. Okay, and so let me. I want to break it down for you so you have a clear idea what I'm talking about. So when I talk about types of leases, you got to familiarize yourself with different types of leases, such as open-end leases and operating leases. And let me just define that for you. So an open-end lease allows you to purchase the van at the end of the lease term, while an operating lease allows you to use the van for a specific period without the option to purchase it. And in terms of terms and conditions, you want to thoroughly review the terms and conditions of the lease agreement. Pay attention to factors such as mileage allowances, which really determine the number of miles you can drive the van without incurring additional charges. And you want to understand that there are maintenance responsibilities, including who is responsible for routine servicing and repairs. Okay. Additionally, one thing, and that's really important, you want to be aware of insurance requirements and whether the leasing company provides any insurance coverage. Now, what we have seen in our research is that national chains really will help you in terms of the insurance part of things. But if you go to a local dealership, you might have to actually do things yourself. I mean, so, but it is what it is. So you also, so besides types of leases and terms and conditions, you also got to think about tax benefits. So you want to take advantage of tax benefits available for leasing a cargo van for a business. And so, for example, you have Section 179. So the Section 179 tax deduction allows businesses to deduct up to 100% of lease payments in the first year. So first year, think about it. So you are basically deducting everything the first year. So when you think about that, this sort of this deduction rather, provides significant tax savings, and that's really cool. And so you want to always consult with a tax professional to understand how you can maximize the tax benefits through leasing. Next, I want you to select the right cargo van. I mean, we're talking about cargo van for business, but you got to really select the right cargo van. I mean, what kind of, I think I said this at the beginning of the show, right? What kind of positioning you want to have? Do you want to have a first mile, middle mile, a last mile? Do you want to do OTR? Do you want to do a niche hauling? Do you want to do OTR? Do you want to do, what do you want to do? Do you want to do reefer, for instance? Do you want to do hazmat? Okay. So to really, you need to select the right cargo van. And when choosing a cargo van for your business, you want to select one that meets your specific requirements in terms of size, payload capacity, and features, right? So I want to insist on that. I mean, cargo space is really important. So when we talk about payload capacity, that's important. And additional features also. So cargo space really will depend on how you position yourself vis-a-vis your clients. What kind of loads you want to haul. You want to evaluate the amount of cargo space you need to transport your goods effectively, and you want to consider the dimensions and capacity required to accommodate your products. Keep in mind that different cargo vans offer like a diverse cargo space options. You have payload capacity, so you want to evaluate the payload capacity of the cargo van. So when I talk about payload capacity, I think I spoke about that a little earlier, but I want to insist on that. I mean, because payload capacity is not just the goods that you're hauling for the clients or for yourself. No, it's way more than that. So you have the cargo, you have the passengers, and you have any additional equipment. And so you need to ensure that the payload capacity of the van is sufficient for your business needs. And then you also have to think about additional features. So consider additional features that may be beneficial for your business. For example, some cargo van offer bulkhead options, which really provide a barrier between the cargo area and the driver's compartment, enhancing, when you really think about it, safety and organization. So safety and organization are not only important for you, but also for the clients. Okay. So you want to evaluate seating capacity if you require additional passenger space. Additionally, you want to explore commercial upfit capacity, such as racks, cabinets, and shelves that can enhance the functionality of the cargo van. So this is really important. Boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about how to lease a cargo van for business. I'm just going through a series of hacks to kind of help you make the right decision. So, number one, determine your business needs. Number two, research van leasing companies. Number three, compare lease options. Number four, you want to select the right cargo van. Number five, you want to negotiate the lease agreement. So basically, so when we talk about negotiating the lease agreements, there are a few things you want to pay attention to. First of all, you want to contact the leasing company. If you are going to go through a local dealership, you want to go to the dealership itself. You want to really show up, and you want to have a conversation face to face. If you're dealing with a national chain, you have a local branch, that will be really helpful also to actually have a face-to-face conversation. Why? Because you will be able to ask all questions and have all answers before you sign anything. Okay. So there are three things you want to do when negotiating the lease agreement. Now, people say, well, can you really negotiate the lease agreement? Yes, you can negotiate everything. You can negotiate the lease agreement for a cargo van you're considering for business. So you want to contact the leasing company. So you want to reach out to the van leasing company and express your interest in actually leasing the cargo van for your business. And what you want to do is you want to initiate a conversation to discuss lease terms, pricing, and any additional services you may require. And this initial contact sets the stage for further negotiations. And then once you actually have talked to a rep, you want to discuss lease terms. So you want to engage in a discussion about the lease terms. Pay attention to factors such as lease duration, monthly payments, and any potential fees or charges. And so if anything is blurry to you, let's say you do not understand certain things, you want to seek clarification on any terms that are unclear or require further explanation. Okay. And you also want to think about price negotiation. So you want to negotiate the pricing to ensure it aligns with your budget. You want to consider factors such as the capitalized cost. So this is actually the vehicle price, the residual value. So this is the estimated value at the end of the lease, and the manufacturer, the interest rates. So you want to aim to negotiate a lower capitalized cost and a higher residual value to reduce your monthly payments. So if you can do this on a consistent basis, you will win in the end anyway. Next, you want to really sign the lease agreement. So when we talk about the lease agreement here, we are speaking about a couple of things. You want to thoroughly review the lease agreement. I'm talking about the agreement itself, but also the fine prints. So you want to focus on things such as duration, monthly payments, and mileage allowances. And you want to seek clarification from the leasing company on any terms that are unclear to ensure a comprehensive understanding of your obligations and rights. Because remember, when we talk about a lease agreement for your cargo van business, we're talking about a win-win situation, right? But there are instances where that win-win situation actually becomes a little different based on the conditions in the market, right? You want to only sign the agreement when you are confident that it meets your business needs. Okay, this is really important. So it's really important when we talk about having an agreement that meets your business needs. That's so critical, because remember that everything started with your business needs, right? When I started to this conversation, I talked to you about your business needs. So you want to make sure that the agreement that you're about to sign meets your business needs. And remember to keep a copy for your records. You never know. So that you are able to be fully informed and you can safeguard your business interest throughout the duration of the agreement. I mean, if you have a cargo van business lease, you can probably have a lease for 5 years. You can have a lease for 1 year, 2 years. It really depends. So but having the opportunity to protect your business interest is really quintessential and will help you down the road anyway. So that's why you want to pay attention to everything that happens, and knowing that the lessor, which is the leasing agency, might actually keep proof of certain things too. So you want to be able to look at things from a fresh perspective. The next thing you want to do here is that's step number 7. You want to maintain and insure the van. So when we talk about leasing a cargo van for business, some lease agreements will have actually insurance, like insurance, the insurance price already in the lease price, and some agreements will let you actually get your own insurance. Now, should you go for your own insurance or should you go with the insurance that the leasing agency has for you? It really depends. If you have an existing relationship, a good relationship with an insurance company, and you think you can get a better rate through that insurance company, go ahead with that insurance company. That's no problem at all. Okay, that's totally fine. But if for any reason you are able to, you think that you're better off getting you're better off getting a better deal through the leasing agency, then go through the leasing agency. In all circumstances, you need to have insurance. Okay, and don't forget to maintain and insure the van, because if there's anything happening to the vehicle, you might be responsible for it, and that's really important. And remember that you want to ensure to follow the maintenance schedule outlined in the lease agreements. And again, when it comes to maintenance schedule and insurance, those could be provided to you by the leasing agency, or you have to do it yourself. So when we talk about the maintenance agreement, we are talking about things like oil changes, tire rotations, okay? Because the last thing you want is to have penalties or charges for excess wear and tear, okay? And you also are responsible for obtaining or having comprehensive insurance coverage. And because leasing companies typically require higher limits than state minimums, including liability, comprehensive, and collision coverage. So you want to stay diligent in keeping maintenance records and meeting insurance requirements to safeguard your business interest and maintain compliance with the lease terms. And so this proactive approach ensures that the van or the vans remain in good condition throughout the lease period, protecting your investment and avoiding unforeseen expenses. So that's the bottom line here is what? When you actually lease a van for a business, a cargo van for business, the insurance and the maintenance part of things are there to help you to maintain the vehicle in good condition. Because remember, leasing a cargo van for your business involves several key steps, but the maintenance and insurance are really the most important thing, because if you have a cargo van in bad shape, you are basically not only you are exposing yourself to penalties, but you're not actually going to use the vehicle for a long time. So you got to maintain the van, you got to insure it, and you got to make sure that you take care of all any possible regulatory requirements that relate to the van. For instance, if you are going to haul a reefer, if you are going to haul something refrigerated, then you have to make sure that you actually comply with the regulations, not only state-wise but also federally. Okay, so that's really important in terms of making sure that you do not expose yourself and your business to fines and extra charges. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was just talking to you about how to lease a cargo van for a business. So I give you the steps. So determine your business needs, research van leasing companies, compare lease options, select the right cargo van, negotiate the lease agreement, sign the lease agreement, maintain and insure the van. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.